one of the first weekly reviews of the House of Weightlifting training. So this is from March 19th through the 24th of training. Starting off with just some push presses. This is Alex. So we've got these videos just kind of laid out in chronological order of how training went throughout the week. Everyone's on a slightly different program. Yeah, but we're all just training hard. You could see that in the House of Weightlifting, if you haven't been following our Instagram account, we've got a lot of gym art over there on the left. We've got Rachel Davis drawing with chalk all on the walls, kind of making it our own unique place. But here we go. We got Mandy. Mandy is relearning all of her snatch and clean and jerk technique. So even here, she's got some good speed, but just kind of adjusting that split position, finding that balance.
Good, adjust. Nice.
And we also do a lot of unilateral work. So there's Rachel doing some split squats. She's got a few injuries that she's working through, as well as Mandy doing some one-leg work. Yeah, but we really we do quite a bit of GPP. If I can get someone to do GPP for a while, maybe even like 2 months worth of it, I'm going to take advantage of that because I think people will get a big benefit out of that. Rachel is coming on to maybe her second or third month of doing mostly GPP. Lots of hamstring curls, split squats, one-leg stuff. Here goes Ronnie with 80 kilos. This is a PR triple power clean, or power snatch for him. And really, his best is, it's not too far off of that. His best is 105. So that's, and here he gets 85 for a triple. So he's getting over 80% for a triple in the power. So I definitely think that his snatch will be up to 110 pretty soon. Just a matter of the right day, the right time, and moving well. Trusting that he can make it. Maybe getting him to do a competition one of these days. So he was pretty wiped out from snatches. He was also going to go up to a heavy power clean triple. As you could see there, like that just pulled him forward. His catch was forward. So I think he tried 130 or something, but wasn't quite there that day. All right, here's Alex. He's got a pretty killer complex here. I think it's 2 cleans and 3 jerks. Pretty good clean. What we've been working on with him is moving his feet aggressively in the split, trying to get a little bit more
good
intent in that aggressive movement. So as you can see, he kind of moves like a ninja. Your feet just kind of slide, and there's not really a big aggressive stomping movement, which you don't want to overly stomp the jerk, but you want to move with some intent and stop it and meet that bar up high.
Nice.
But he's getting better. Something they say he's practicing on is raising his chin a little bit in the dip drive, so that it kind of straightens his dip drive out a lot. This is just a little panoramic of that training day. I think this might have been Monday. Yeah, so here we got some good snatches going on by Keith. He's doing some pauses, working on getting a nice vertical finish. We're still working mostly on technique with him. We haven't really pushed too much, but he's making some good progress. He's moving a lot more like a weightlifter. That intent, that speed under the bar is finally starting to come around. And here's Alex. He was a swimmer, and he seems to be pretty strong concentrically, but his eccentric strength, or his ability to control the movement down, is a little limited. So we started adding in 1 5-second eccentric during every squat, just to give him a little taste of eccentric without overloading it. And slowly but surely we'll progress on it. All right, we got Seth here. Seth has got a lot of potential. He moves like a champ. He's about 75 kilos, and he's just learning weightlifting, pretty much brand new to it, and I think he's going to do really well. So here you go, got Keith again, working on those snatches with the paws right off the floor, getting good reps. So here is Ronnie. This is an interesting one. If you watch this jerk, it looks like he just has a bad lockout, and it looks soft, but you see that left elbow.
All right, lower your arms a little bit.
if you look at this elbow, if you pause this video, and you can see that his left elbow is actually angled in. I guess it's a valgus elbow, or a varus elbow. And that really messes up his overhead position, and it really kind of messes up his lockout. And we finally figured that out, that his elbows were, anatomically different side to side. And then we started adjusting his jerk technique based off of that, and now he's starting to make some progress, although the last set was a little sloppy. We got Keith doing some clean and jerks, standing up really fast, which I like. His jerk is still a little slow, a little soft, but we're mostly still working on position. You can see that back heel isn't quite turning out as much as we'd like, but he's getting there, getting stronger and stronger. It'll be there soon. And one of the exercises that we do to help with the split is press from split. I like to do a lot of jerk drills instead of going right into the jerk a lot, especially for someone learning the jerk. A nice 70 kilos, standing up straight. Look at that nice shirt. We got those for sale. If you want one of them, just shoot me a direct message. We'll get you set up. And as you can see, that jerk's just not quite there. It doesn't have the technique down 100% yet, but we're still working on it.
Get that back heel out on the jerk.
But yeah, his complex is 2 cleans and 3 jerks as well.
Turn it out.
Yeah, not bad. See, he starts to get some adjustments. A lot of times what I try to tell people to do is, once they get into that split, just to pause in the split, then adjust to the correct position, let your body feel the right position, and then recover, just so you get some more practice with it. Yeah, if you look at that, he stands up quick. I think this is pretty much his PR, 80 kilos, which is somewhere around there. It's pretty close to his PR if it's not right at it. But then that's still that back heel just turns out a little bit. And as you can see, this isn't much weight for him, 95 kilos, because he just clean and jerked 80. But you can see how fast he moves up in the squat. So that speed and that intent in moving fast is kind of coming along really quick with him. Some people it takes a little bit longer to get moving fast. Some people a little bit slower. But it's coming along. And here goes Ronnie. Ronnie had this unique squat complex. If you saw a few frames back, we had some cupping on his leg. He's got some knee tendonitis, and he took maybe three weeks off of full squats, snatch, clean, jerk, and did a lot of GPP. But for the most part, it's getting better. He's using voodoo floss, but now he's doing a lot of variety and different pauses and different things to strengthen up and try to get his glutes a little bit stronger to take some load off. That was a pretty killer complex for Ronnie. And then LaRue here is just doing some snatch complexes, courtesy of Travis Cooper. But yeah, this is a great complex. That one looks like he kind of cut that pool a little short, but he's still getting in some solid work, some solid technique. I think this is 110, where his best is 136.
Right,
so moving that weight pretty easy. All right, Matt Graham. He's been on this program for a while, where he's been doing a lot of low hang work. The big thing that we've been working on with him is getting a nice vertical extension and a push with the legs at the top. And catching balance rather than catching and kind of having to recover forward. But he's coming along. One of those things, muscle snatches, really emphasizes that vertical finish. Well, we got some good videography checking out our banner. So even on those, I would like to see him push with the legs a little bit more. All right, here we got Jess working on some jerk recoveries in our power rack. I've mostly done these off of pins, so it's kind of interesting doing them off these straps in this power rack, which is pretty fun. It's definitely a little bit safer on the barbell versus dropping the barbell on the pins. But yeah, Jessica's showing good jerk technique. yeah, she's got a lot of potential. Yeah, some solid cleans here.
Nice.
She got a little bit of jump back, so that second rep right there was the best one of her set. I think she did like, I don't know, like 4 or 5 sets, and the second rep every time was the best one. So we just kept saying, try to repeat that set. Remember what you did. Remember that feeling, and try to redo that one. And then that weight, you know, she catches more upright, and she puts the weight in her legs versus leaning forward and putting in the load in her back. Yeah, she's got to get those legs strong. And Ronnie over here, he's in an accumulation phase where he's doing lots of reps, lots of triples at relatively light weights. And he really does tend to do better with this style training. As of right now, singles haven't been too profitable for him. Even though they're the most fun, he does well with complexes and triples and things like that. Jess with some good technique on the clean pulls, nice vertical finish. Yeah, the biggest thing that we're working on Jess with is learning to feel the quads more. And it's coming along. So here goes 120 for a triple. His best is 137, and he's only hit that once. The 130 is kind of the weight that he's consistent at. So either way, going after 120 for a triple like this is a really good set for Ronnie.
All right.
So then again, you can see that left
Last
elbow
one.
just doesn't want to lock out.
Believe it.
And that is just part of Ronnie's jerk technique, because the way his elbow shapes, we still try to make his shoulders balanced, because he's an old power lifter, so he doesn't get too.
Yes.
Got some tightness and some kyphosis. So that was his second attempt, I think. His first attempt, he actually made the clean and missed the jerk. And here goes Rachel's first day doing weightlifting. She did a clean and a jerk with the bar. Just moving around, getting the feel again. She's had a little quad IT band injury, so she's pretty excited about getting back in there and doing some weights. All right, Alex is doing some overhead squats. I'm not a huge fan of overhead squats. I like them every now and then, but I do believe that some people get more of a benefit out of overhead squats than others. And so I'm always willing to try overhead squats and see if somebody gets a good benefit from them. But I'm not afraid to cut them from the program if they don't have much of a benefit. But I guess there's a time and a place for them. Some people like them a lot more than I do. So here you got Seth and Rachel. Rachel moving again.
A little bit more.
She's mostly doing powers. She kind of tested the water with some full snatches, but the quad was acting up a little bit, so she switched to powers.
You can take 2 steps back.
And Alex working on some step to split. This is a good exercise. He found this one pretty challenging too. Eventually, I like to have people work up to 110% of their jerk, maybe even more on this exercise. And I think this is 90% for him. And he found it challenging, so I think this is an excellent exercise for him. When really, this one should be a pretty easy exercise at that percentage. Rachel moving well. 35 kilos.
Yeah. I'll be here.
All right, and here goes Seth. I think this is the most that he's snatched with 50 kilos.
Save.
A little wobble, a little odd at the top, but makes some good adjustments and makes it. But as you can see, there's a lot of potential for more weight there, and it'll just be a matter of time. 40 kilos for Rachel, getting a good finish. Excited about that one. She's excited about every weight as she goes up.
Good adjustment. Come
Now, here's where Seth is one of those I think he's just a naturally good jerker. Look at that jerk. Boom. Look at those elbows. Good dip drive. Good speed. So that's always nice to see. All right, 50 kilos. Again, good finish. All this, Rachel mentioned that she hasn't snatched in a long time or clean and jerked. And she mentioned that her movement, wow, that was a fast stand-up for Seth, felt effortless. You know, that's because she was injured, but she kept up with that GPP and still training, still staying strong, doing what she can. And that makes the transition back into doing snatch and clean and jerk a lot smoother and a lot less, disheartening. I don't know if that's the right word, but, you know, if you go back, you take a break and you go back and you're like, oh, man, everything feels heavy. But now you can see she's pretty strong. She snatched 55, and you know, she felt strong doing it. And it's exciting to do weightlifting because weightlifting is fun. And all that GPP work paid off. All right, 66. I think this was 60 or 66 was Seth's last prescribed weight, and then after that he's like, man, I'm kind of curious what I can clean and jerk. I'm gonna see what I can do. So we went up to 75, and we were doing all those percentages off of 70, and then he just made 75 easy. So we're taking his progress nice and slow. We're keeping his workouts pretty short. As you can see, he's pretty excited about that. It feels good to hit some big weights like that. All right, here is some training from Saturday at Iron Forged Athletics, where I went out and did a seminar with them out in Fayetteville, North Carolina. So if you're ever out in that direction, go check them out. They got some pretty good weightlifting equipment. We had pretty fun at this seminar. We were working on mostly a lot of technique. That guy right there, man, he is fast. Like he moves so fast that we had to slow him down. But once he rehearses those positions, he'll make some good improvements. So here we made some adjustments to his start position, and that made his finish so much more vertical. He was looping the bar a lot, but we just had him go start over the bar a little bit more, and that straightened out his finish a lot. All right, here we got Jordan working on snatch, and the same thing. We were mostly working on getting a nice vertical finish at the top. And when the theme of this seminar was pauses right off the floor. We were kind of a lot of them do CrossFit, and they do a lot of the little bit higher hip start for doing snatches in CrossFit. So a lot of them were weak in that upright starting position. So right there, like as you can see, we pause and then do the snatches. That gets a lot more glute and a lot more quad. We had everybody just trying to hold that position with the barbell for like 15 seconds, and the knees were shaking, and it's challenging. And if your knees are shaking with just a bar, that's usually a sign that it's not going to stay that good position at heavy weights. So here's another guy that he just moved so fast that he would move through the positions and skip them, and he would just rush right past the positions. So we're working on him on being patient. And it started to make a difference. One of the things that we said is move 50% at the same tempo that you move 90%, just so you can practice that tempo during the pull and give the bar time to move into the hip. Again, we did more pulls with pauses. This was a pretty fun seminar because we really just found what the issues were that everyone was having technique-wise, and then we made a workout to help correct the main issues that the people at the gym were having. So with that, we did that for the snatches. And then for clean and jerks, they actually had really pretty good clean technique, but we did a lot of jerk technique, a lot of jerk drills. We were working on making sure that he didn't tightrope his jerk, and we switched up the legs. We went kind of back and forth to help restore balance to the hips. As you can see, he's even got a little tilt in his catch, which I think is mostly coming from the hips. So that was a great time out at Iron Forge. I appreciate them having me out there for their seminar. I think they made some good progress. So here's a House of Weightlifting online athlete. This is 140 for a set of 4. Which, ooh, that's a good save right there. Or it might have been 150. This is 150 for a set of 4 in the jerk. The jerk looks solid. He's been making some good progress. We did some slower work with him to begin with, but then the past few months we've really just kind of let him go. We let him start pushing the weights, start testing his his ability to push and go for heavy weights, and he's making good progress. And this one here is a good example. So this is 125. The first rep was a little shaky. He might have had to walk forward a few steps to save it if he stood all the way up. But still, this is over 90%. His best snatch is off the blocks with like 140, and he did it for a set of 4. That's a huge set of 4. And while I was at the seminar in Fayetteville, all the guys got together and had their heavy Saturday training out at the House of Weightlifting, and I think they did like 10 singles at like 100 to 105, and then Aaron Ringel came on down, drove on down, one of the online athletes, to get in on the atmosphere, and he's still doing complexes, working on position, which that looks pretty good. Only if he could keep that same tempo and position at lighter weights. So here's Alex. I think this is only 120, but he also there's also a video that I actually didn't get with 130 that he did off the blocks, which is I think is a PR off the blocks, and he's getting strong. He's making PRs every week. He's been calling himself the PR king. So we always try to have a fun time. Here's a picture. We also had the people at Iron Forge doing a lot of assistance work, and finally the panoramic picture of the House of Weightlifting. So if you ever want to come visit the House of Weightlifting, just let me know. Come on, stop by, and we'll come do some weightlifting. All right, guys, girls, thanks for watching.